what have you learned and achieved during your time in advocacy with Create?
I've learned that that's one of the biggest thing I learned, that there are so many more people out there like me. You know, you can be a kid in care, but how often through your service do you see another kid in care? And I grew up in a small town, so you'd think I knew someone else who was in care, but I didn't, other than the kids in my own house. So I learnt that there are more like me. I learnt that there were people I could trust that didn't, like people that Create. You guys don't know what's in my file. I could be the worst child ever, but you don't care. Like, you don't see that as important. I think that's important. And so then you feel like there's someone there who's actually going to listen and someone you can actually trust. But in doing that, I learned that I could speak. I had that right. I didn't need some fancy like worker next to me to say, no, this is what happened, or this is what's wrong, or hey, you need to like accept that this is what we're saying. So I learned that. Like, I think that's really important.
So I myself, I'm not someone who really is very comfortable speaking to people without someone that I trust around. I always had my caseworker close by to me when it came to talking to people I didn't know. And I would say, being with Create, it's made me more comfortable in being able to speak up on my own and being able to advocate for my own rights and advocating for others' rights. I'm not very good at public speaking, and the fact that I get to, sit in on these sorts of things, these webinars, and have chats to people that I've never met is incredible. Because if I had have looked back when I was 16, this wouldn't be, the 16-year-old me would think this is ridiculous. This could not happen. And being able to sit down, advocate for myself, advocate for other people without the fear of being told to be quiet, because I know that I have incredible support around me, is also great.
I think, finding new people to talk to has been good, and relating to experiences and becoming part of the change.
I've learnt about how people are in the same boat as me. I always just thought that, maybe I lucked out and didn't get the same sort of support that other people did. But I've learnt there's alarmingly majority struggling with getting support from the care system. But the main takeaway I've learnt is, like, we have a voice through Create, through young advocates and young consultants. And I've honestly, I just enjoy doing it. Learning about others' like experiences and being able to talk at like advocacy groups, and going to caseworker trainings and talking to caseworkers and putting my voice out there and telling people my opinion on what I believe could be done better and what can stay the same.
Great. Thanks, Taya. David?
But yeah, just kind of going off Keyarnee's points about finding other kids like myself. I didn't really, like, I love how Create creates that kind of community of kids in care, because it's like when you're making friends and stuff, you always, you just want to be able to relate to people. And growing up in foster homes and stuff, sometimes it can be hard. But if you're meeting other kids with similar backgrounds like yourself, it just makes it easier. You make a lot of friends. I've made some long-term friends just from being a part of Create, and I've only been with you guys for like a year and a bit now. 2 years, wow. gone quick. Another thing that you guys have helped me with is kind of just kind of accepting my story and helping me to be able to kind of use my voice as a tool for change, basically, because it is at first it's hard being so different to everyone else, but it's once you get comfortable stepping out of that kind of belonging zone, you realize that you can use your very unique story to create change and raise awareness for, the people that aren't part of the big crowd, and I know that from stories that I've heard from other people in Create, it's just really helped me with a lot of personal stuff, as long as being able to use my voice. And kind of one of the greatest things that Create has done for me is they've kind of educated me on my rights. And as a kid in care, the Charter of Rights, it's a little book that's given to us at however old you have to be, I don't know, but it's just kind of like your caseworker will give it to you and tick the box for saying that you've educated them on their rights and stuff. That's how it was for my brother and I know it was the same for a lot of other kids. And my thoughts didn't really go past that at that point, but after talking with Create and stuff, I've learned how to use those rights to kind of make change and see how kids are meant to be treated.
I think the biggest thing all of us learn, and none of us mentioned it, I think we learned that it's okay to be a foster kid. It's okay to say you were a kid in care. That's cool. Because that doesn't mean anything.
I feel like, if anything, because of Create, it's somewhat empowering. Like being able to be like, even though I had a negative situation happen, even though I'm no longer, with my real family, I have another family. I have people who love me, and I have not just my own family, my foster family, but I am a part of this large, like this giant family that isn't just, just in New South Wales. It's Australia wide, and I get to be a part of it. It's an exclusive access to this family.